And now it is my great pleasure and honor, and I sincerely mean that, to introduce our guest speaker. And I had never met Dr. James before, but I talked to him on the phone yesterday, and we laughed a lot. So I just loved it. I love laughter and humor. And so he is joining us this morning. And I don't know if anyone else knows Dr. Jim, but first of all, besides having a great sense of humor and a great personality, he's serving as the founding pastor of the Global Truth Center. He's also one of the founders of the Global Truth Network. He has written a book called Mental or Muscle Miracle? Mental Muscle Miracle. It's a miracle I can say that, right? And he has a successful career in the entertainment world. He's been on stage, on film, music. He was in Jesus Christ Superstar, in West Side Story. I can see you in West Side Story now. Yes, I can see it. His husband is also an actor, a director in the entertainment world, and he has 2 children. I mean, this man is really incredible. So let's give him a nice, warm Westlake Center for Spiritual Living welcome.
Is it me or does it feel dark? Do I look dark? No? Okay, good. Because you can bring up more lights if you want. Just flood me. So, it is so great to be here, I have to tell you. Driving here today, I was reminded of the first time I came here as a practitioner. Dr. David Walker brought us all here for something. And I don't remember what it was. But I came in and I met Dr. Sue. Is Dr. Sue here today? She's probably speaking somewhere. And I met Dr. Sue, and I had a very auspicious beginning at this church. I went into your bookstore, and there was a book on the shelf by Dr. Laura Schlesinger. Now, my husband is like so political, it's unbelievable how political he is. And I had just heard him ranting about Dr. Laura Schlesinger and what she was saying about some certain friends of ours, of which we happen to be part. And all of a sudden I was like, how are we selling a book by this woman in a religious science bookstore? Now, I had not met Dr. Sue yet. So I go up to her and I went, hi, I'm James Mellon, I'm a practitioner, and you have a book written by someone who's very homophobic. And she went, I do? I said, yes, Dr. Laura Schlesinger. You gotta go read her book. And she marched into the bookstore, picked up the book, and said, it will never be here again. And then I thought, and she did it in such a way I was like, she's calling me out on something. Because you know Dr. Sue, she doesn't just tell you something. She tells you something with about 10 layers underneath it. So I was like, well, have you read it? She went, no, have you? And I said, well, no, I haven't read it. She handed it to me and she went, a gift from me, read it. She said, when you're done reading it, call me back. If I still need to take it off the bookshelf, then I'll read it. And from then on, we've been like the closest of friends. I never read it. But I think she kept it on her bookshelf, so I think we're even. So that was my first visit out to Westlake, and I haven't been out here much. I mean, believe it or not, Studio City and Westlake feel like they're in different countries. But driving here, it is just so beautiful. You know, you come over that hill, whatever the hill that was, and you just start seeing such beautiful countryside. And it was just gorgeous. So I really, really, truly am blessed to be here today. At my center, we have a theme every single month. And it's a theme that I come up with, mostly because it's a theme I want to live that month. And so at the beginning of every month, I give that theme, which I'll give tonight. I don't know if you know this, but our services have moved to 5 p.m. Basically, so I don't have to get up on a Sunday morning. So, and my husband said, last night I said, don't forget I'm going to Westlake tomorrow. He went, did you change the time of our church just so you could do double duty? Is this so you could get up and do a 2-service day? And I went, not really, but maybe, we'll see. So, So I have this theme. So our theme this month is called With Childlike Wonder, which Reverend Joyce and I talked about together. Where'd you go? Oh, jeez. With Childlike Wonder. And it really, for me, was about the idea that we get so complacent in what we think we know that we forget to look at what we don't know. And we forget to look at life from a perspective that is new. And we just think, oh no, I already know that. Oh no, I've already been there. Oh, I've already done that. But you haven't been there because today's a different day. And you haven't done that because you haven't done it the way you're going to do it this time. So I'm going to start today with, thank you, those lights are good now, very hot. So, careful what you ask for. No, I'm good, really, I'm good. So I'm going to start with some questions that I'm going to ask you to, here's the thing about me. I'm a student of Dr. Walker. How many of you know who Dr. David Walker was? So Dr. David Walker, to me, was one of the greatest teachers, speakers of religious science ever. And the lineage is pretty easy to follow. It's Ernest Holmes, Dr. Bitzer, Dr. Walker, Dr. Mellon. But we go back that way. But that's the lineage, right? So it goes Ernest Holmes, Dr. Bitzer, Dr. Walker. So Dr. David, for me, was just an amazing teacher. And one of the things I learned from him was that you can get up on stage and give a lecture and talk and show what you know. And you may get some information, but unless you're going to live this information, I've wasted my time and I've wasted your time. So what I like to do more than lecture and more than give talks is give questions. I like to ask you to question yourself, because the truth is, there's something in you that knows every answer. And there's something in me that knows every answer, but every answer I know for me. The answer you know, you're going to know for you. So here's some questions. So just take a deep breath. And I'm going to ask you some questions, and just don't try to answer them in your head. How many of you do that? You hear a question, you go, what's the answer? What's the answer? Yeah, don't try to answer it. Live the question. Just let the question be there and then see what comes up. So the first question is, why are you sitting here today? And that's not a humorous question, it's a real question. Why are you sitting here today? You could be anywhere. You could be on the beach, looking at the ocean. You could be in Disneyland. You could be anywhere. You could be in bed. Why are you here today? Why are you here? Why did you come? The second question is, what do you expect to get out of this today? Out of being here today? What are you expecting to get? I don't think we do anything in life without some form of expectation. Expectation comes with whatever action you take. You have some form of expectation, whether you know it or not, whether you've admitted it to yourself or not. So, what are you expecting to get today? And if you're not expecting and you don't know what you're expecting, then I would ask you to really listen to yourself and find out, what are you expecting? The third question is, what do you expect to give today? What are you going to give up today? What are you expecting to have to put out? Saying hi to people you don't know? What are you expecting to give out? Now we're going to move into the season. How many holiday seasons have you lived through? I'm sort of asking how old you are, but I'm asking it in a different way. How many holiday seasons have you lived through? Whether it is Hanukkah or Christmas or Kwanzaa. Does anyone here celebrate Kwanzaa? I know we add that for some reason, but I've never met a person who celebrated it. So mostly Hanukkah and Christmas. How many holiday seasons have you lived through? What do you expect to happen this holiday season? What are you expecting? What are you expecting this Christmas or this Hanukkah or this non-specific New Thought holiday season? And now, big one. How are you expecting to feel this holiday season? Are you expecting to feel something? Are you expecting to feel frustrated? Are you expecting to feel pressured? Anybody stressed? Are you expecting any of that stuff? What are you expecting for this, how to feel? And then the question I really have is this. How old are you? Now, I can tell you, I'm 62 years old. I know that's shocking looking at me, but I am. Somebody last night came up to me and said, "Oh God, we thought you were 40." And I was like, "That is so sweet. You should see me early in the morning." So how old are you? Because I think we relegate our experiences based on how old we are. I think we get to a certain age and we say, well, I'm 62. How different is this going to be? So how old are you? So with childlike wonder, so I have a quote for you today from Ernest Holmes, and it's this. "This is the great mystery, the limitless wonder of the universe, that which out of nothing can make something. But its nothing is really the substance of every something." I'm going to read it again. It's a little heady. I saw you roll your eyes back there. It looked like you went, "Oh my God, what did that mean?" So, this is the great mystery, the limitless wonder of the universe. That which is out of nothing can make something. So the amazing thing about this universe is that there is an energy that out of nothing makes everything. But its nothing is really the substance of every something. So the limitless wonder of the universe. Here's the thing. And I know we say a lot of this. We say, I am one with God. I am that which is part of this amazing thing called God. But I'm one of those people that believes that that is cutting us short. And I believe that Ernest Holmes, in 1927, started writing about this thing called God, this thing called universal life, this thing called this unlimited creativity. And by the time he died in 1961, he had a different idea of it. And I'm one of those ministers that believes that we should be teaching from the 1961 Ernest Holmes, not necessarily the 1927 Ernest Holmes. I think the 1927 Ernest Holmes is brilliant. We get a lot out of that. The 1961 Ernest Holmes had some ahas that we have not really grasped yet. And his big aha was this. As many of those who are here that know me know what I'm going to say now. His big aha was this whole idea of the absolute and the relative. And by the way, when I mentioned this for the first time, when I first found it, Dr. Sue was in the room. I was doing a practitioner symposium, and she ran to me and almost tackled me. She was like, "Where did you read that? I want to know what it's in. I need to see it." Because you know she's intense. So I was like, "Well, it's in the seminar lectures." She said, "I'll find it." And she did. And we had a long discussion about it. And she was like, "Oh my God, you're absolutely right." So Ernest Holmes said this about the absolute and the relative, which means the divine and the human that are part of one another. That's dualistic. That's duality. God and man. And we have been living this for all of our lives, for me, for 62 years. God and man. I am a part of God. I am one with God. I can't be one with anything when I am it. So Ernest Holmes said this at the end of his life. He said, the absolute and the relative are the exact same thing. And in fact, the relative is the absolute at the level of the relative. You know what that means? It means that you're God. You're not a part of God. You are God. Now, I want everyone to repeat this after me. It may be uncomfortable for you. Just say it. Let's see how it feels. You're going to say, I am God. You all ready? I'm going to count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
I am God.
How did that feel? Who was uncomfortable? Yeah, there is uncomfort in this, and there is discomfort. And all these people that are walking around saying this now, we have to also get comfortable with the uncomfortableness of it, because there's the healing. There's the growth. There's what we need to reveal. I am God. I'm not just a part of it, as Rumi says, I am not a drop in the ocean. Rumi says, you are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. And when we live from the entire ocean in a drop, now we're a childlike wonder. Because we stop trying to make ourselves something separate and something less than and diminutive. Does that make sense? Is everybody following? No one's left yet, so we're good. So the idea is, if the limitless wonder of the universe is that creative energy that creates out of nothing everything, then that's who you are. That's who I am. I am limitless. I can create anything out of me. I can create anything out of the consciousness that I have. That's the truth. So, you are the limitless wonder of the universe. Now let me tell you what wonder means. A rapt attention or astonishment at something awesomely mysterious or new to one's experience. When was the last time you felt wonder? When was the last time you felt awe? I mean awe at something. So I have a little story for you that just happened last night. I just started feeling like I was talking to children. It just happened last night. I suddenly got into that, but you'll know why now when you hear the story. So I don't like Disneyland. I know, it's heresy. Now you're all leaving. How quickly you turn. I don't. I also don't like Universal Studios. Heresy. I live in Los Angeles. So I avoid them because, especially at Christmas time when it's all Christmassy, now it's even more crowded. I just don't like, bless you, I just don't like all the crowds. I don't like all the craziness. I don't like all the pushing and shoving. I just don't. So my nephew's visiting from Philadelphia. And my husband says, let's take him to Universal. I was like, Universal what? And he said, no, let's just take him to Universal. So I was like, you know what? It's Christmas. He's never been to California. Let's do that. I'm going to be good about this. So we got there. And of course, the Harry Potter exhibit. Who's been there and been to the Harry Potter exhibit? Did you wear one of those capes that they all were wearing? You did? Okay, good for you. Anyway, so I get there and they're all dressed up and we get to the Harry Potter exhibit. Now, before that, we had gone on a couple of rides because we know everybody in the entertainment business. We even had like house seats to Hamilton when you couldn't get them. So we can get anywhere and go anywhere because I am God. I am the limitless energy of the universe that can create anything out of nothing and get house seats to Hamilton. Don't ask me for them though, I only do it for me. So that's another whole story. I could be here forever, but I won't. So because we can get anywhere and go everywhere and do it whatever we want, we had like the passcode word to go to the front of every line. Now this sounds like a good thing to most of you, right? To me, that means I can't escape any ride because we will not be waiting an hour to get on. Where in that hour, I can play some mind games with my children. I can have fun at least standing in a quiet line that's slowly moving. Now, we go to the front of every line. So now, we're on every friggin' roller coaster ride, and my head was about to explode. So we get to Harry Potter, and I've been really nice. I've been very pleasant. I've been very Christian about the whole thing. And so we get to the Harry Potter ride, and they're like, we go right to the front, and I thought it looked so sweet and cute. And it's got, like, you sit in like little swings. And I was like, oh, we're going to be like Harry Potter flying over the villages. And it was 3D. I thought, this will be amazing. So we get on the ride, and it starts. And this woman behind me, I hear her saying to her friend, you know, they took the 3D element out because people were throwing up too much. And then her friend says, and yet they still throw up on this ride. Now, I am literally hooked in to the Harry Potter experience. I can't get out if I try. My feet are already dangling, and we're going. I was so nauseous halfway through. And you know, did you take this ride? Did you do the ride? The Harry Potter ride? No, the Hogwarts. Yeah, wasn't it exhausting? Yeah, of course you did. So we're riding, and not only does it go front and sideways and flip upside down, and you're literally like you're on Harry Potter's broom, and then it stops and does the exact same thing backwards. And I'm like, oh my God, how old am I? Because Kevin's screaming and having a great time, my children are screaming, everybody's having a great time. And we get off the ride, and I was like, that's it. I'm not doing one more ride. But I didn't say it that way, that was my internal dialogue. I was just like, you know, guys, I'm going to not do the next Hogwarts roller coaster, because looking at it, I said, I feel really nauseous. And my cousin from Philadelphia says, I do too. Maybe it's a Philadelphia thing. And I was like, well, whatever it is, I said, I'm not going to go on the roller coaster. You can sit with me. He goes, oh, no, I'm going to go on the roller coaster. So they all went. Here's where childlike wonder comes in, because that was adult-like annoyance. So I knew what I was talking about and what this whole month was going to be about. And there are beautiful Christmas carols going on and people doing shows and this and that and the other thing. And I was like, oh my God, you are such an old fart. You are. And the other side of me is going, no, you're not. You're nauseous. You're really nauseous. And then I was like, but here's the thing. If you're nauseous, then you must be equal to nausea. Because it all happens in the mind, James. So you've created this experience way back when you said, I hate Universal. So now you've given yourself the perfect experience from the perfect mindset. And I was like, okay, this is absolutely true. This is the way it works. So I decided to change my entire mind, to change my thinking, change my life. What a fun idea for a doctor of religious science. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to have childlike wonder. I'm going to look at all of this from now on differently. I'm not going to go on a ride because I'm also sane. And I have the intelligence of my own being. So all of a sudden, I'm standing waiting for them to get off the roller coaster, and I look, and I realize where I am. And I'm in this most gorgeous set of the Hogwarts. And I love the Harry Potter movies. And all of a sudden, I realized I haven't seen a thing since I walked in here. I've been living in the mindset of, I am James Mellon, 62 years old, I don't do this anymore. And I was like, wow, you really know who you are, don't you? Because that's not who you are. You are God, and something new is happening every single second. Now look around and see what that is. And then I had the most amazing time. And I started seeing these beautiful flowers and these beautiful set pieces, and I just had the rest of my, it wasn't much longer, mercifully, but the rest of my time at Universal was beautiful. So, a rapt attention or astonishment at something awesomely mysterious or new to one's experience. How much newer can it be? How much different from my life can it be to be standing in the midst of Hogwarts for real? Not for real, obviously, but in this assimilation of what this is. And it was really beautiful. And then I thought to myself, how much more do I walk around in life having decided I thought and not give myself the opportunity to think something different, to think something new, to approach this as a child would, childlike wonder, to be willing to experience the world in a new way. You know, when we moved our services to 5 o'clock, I didn't know how it was going to go. I woke up and I said to my board, I was like, I want a new experience of church. First of all, people aren't going to church anymore. Church isn't the thing that the generations behind me are doing. My children, they're not interested in going to church, and yet they're very spiritual. I said, so we need to find a new spiritual experience that feeds everybody. And I didn't know what that was, and they were very, very great, very gracious, saying, figure it out. You tell us, and we'll tell you whether we'll do it or not. And one of my board members just left because he's shooting a movie, and he came here today. And so I said, you know what? Church is on Sunday mornings. Let's get away from that to begin with. Let's do it at 5 o'clock. I said, what do you think about that? And most of them were good. One of my board members was like, nah, church is on Sunday mornings. I think I'll have a hard time waiting around all day for church. And I said, all right, well, I understand that. Talk to your wife about it and see what she thinks. About 10 minutes later, I get a call back. Okay, we're in. I said, oh, your wife liked it? He said, she loved it. He said, now we can stay out late on Saturday nights. We can do whatever we want to do. I said, that's good. Okay, so that works. But here's the thing. Then we started our very first service, and I was like, it's the same service. It's a different time. Now what are we going to do? So I'm in the eternal search for what's next, what's new. How can we do this differently? How can we engage the younger generation? And yet, the older generation, my generation, still give us what we need. So that's really what I'm all about. So Wolfgang von Goethe says this: a man should hear a little music, read a little poetry, and see a fine picture every day of his life, in order that worldly cares may not obliterate the sense of the beautiful which God has implanted in the human soul. So how many times this week have you heard some music that you absolutely loved on purpose? Not because you were walking through a mall and someone was playing it. How much poetry have you read? How much of the things you love to do have you done this week? And then done it with a wonder-filled idea of it being different in the way you're going to experience it. Because Charlie Chaplin says this, you'll never find a rainbow if you're looking down. Looking down means living in the relative world at the level of what you've been used to. You know, when Ernest Holmes said the absolute is the relative at the level of the relative, all he's saying is you can live God as a meth addict in the street. That's still God, living the God experience at a very low level of consciousness. Or you can live God as a mystic sitting on a mountaintop at what that mystic may call a high level of consciousness. For me, I need to be in the world, living God, but in every instance. Socrates said, wonder is the beginning of wisdom. So, how do you want to live this month? How do you want to live this month? How do I want to live this month? Do I want to buy presents? I don't have anybody with 18 children, thank God. But yeah, I do want to buy presents, but I get a little crazy a little bit. I get a little stressed out by buying presents. Like did I get the right one? My daughter, anybody have a teenage daughter? I have teenage twins, 17. And I know whenever I go shopping with her, she likes nothing I point to. She really does not have my taste, which means she doesn't have good taste. But she has her own taste. And she's now a singer at our church, and she shows up with like holes in her little shorts. And I'm like, do you really think that's appropriate for Sunday service? She went, I do. Where do you go with that? As a minister who's supposed to be approving. And I said, here, wear this sweater. No, I just said, yeah, good. So, and she wore it. And then people were like, I love that there's youth on the stage, and I love that she's so casual. And so the next week I wore jeans. People were like, a little too casual. It's true, very true. Notice I found my light, and I'm not moving out of it now. So, how do you want to live this month? I mean, this is what I say at my center all the time in the beginning of the month, and I hound them through the whole month. Are we living this? Are we doing this? Are we getting stuck in our old ways? If I am the unlimited energy of the universe, unlimited, think about that word. I am the unlimited energy of the universe. How can I be bored with anything? You know how? I decide to be bored. I choose to stay in this pattern. I choose to live my life this way. Well, here's your opportunity. 2016, at our center, our yearly theme was, it's time to be seen in 2016. I haven't done 17 yet. It's probably going to be like coming clean in 17. But there you go, I just did it. That's what it's going to be. So time to be seen in 2016. So in order to be seen, you have to see. So here's your opportunity that I'm actually offering you as a suggestion. Take it or not, and decide what you want to do with it. But I know that there is something inside of you, something so much bigger than you're living even right now. Even if you think you are living the biggest life, because I have a big life. I have great success. I have great financial success. I have an amazing husband of 28 years. And in gay life, that's like 150 years. I have beautiful children. I have a great, great, great life. But I know I have barely scratched the surface of what I'm capable of. And I know that for each and every one of you. Do you want to give me the prayer? I will do a treatment right here. Do you mind? Yeah, just some prayer music. Oh, that's good. So take a deep breath. So we've been talking about childlike wonder. I have never heard this music before. And it's absolutely gorgeous. And it's making me very emotional. Because there is the emotion of the universe right here in this room. There is an overwhelming energy of love right here, right now. It's who each one of us is. It's what I am. And this love, this passion, this creativity, this energy, this truth, this knowing, this wisdom that is within each and every one of us has come here today to do one thing, to know itself bigger, to know itself deeper, to know itself in all of its glory, in all of its magnificence. And what I know is that each and every one of us has within us that ability to not only know who we are, but to live who we are, to live from that truth. The truth that I am God. I am the entire ocean in this drop. And I know that all these drops come together to create the most amazing experience of life. And here in this month of December, this holiday season, I will see with new eyes. I will hear with new ears. I will love with new love. I will give from a bigger giving. And I will receive from the infinite love of the universe that pours over me at all times. This is what I know. And I am so, so, so grateful to know this, to be this, to live this. I know this for myself. I know this for every single person in this room, anyone who watches online or ever visits this again. I know that this is absolutely so. And I just release it. I get my bloated nothingness out of the way and allow it to live me with such gratitude. And I just let it be so. As together we all say, and so it is. Namaste, and thank you for letting me be here.